Hey everybody, what's up? Today we are going to film some 2023 flip-throughs. This is super late. I apologize so badly. I kept wanting to print photos to put in my planner, and I just, between moving at the beginning of the year and dealing with Clover's relapse and just, it's a lot right now. I just never did it. I printed a couple of photos. We can look at those. I still haven't glued them in here. And I thought, you know what? We're just going to do an incomplete flip through. All the spreads are done, like all the weeks. So that's fine. And I think in 2023, it might have been the first year that I filmed Plan With Me's for every single one of these. So if you want to know more details about each of these weeks, you can go back and check out my 2023 playlist because I did create that for you all. So we're just going to do our best here because I don't think I want to keep revisiting this planner. It was a very special year, but I don't think I want to keep adding to it. I think if I'm going to print photos, I'm going to make photo books that are outside of my planner. It's fine. So this is the Sadie Stickers 7x9 planner, in case you're curious. I really love it as a very neutral vertical planner that is coiled because I prefer a coil rather than inserts. And I forget the name of this cover, but I believe she still has it, so you can still get it. And it's pretty easy to navigate her website and find what you want. So there you go. I did get the dated version for 2023. So let's just jump into it. This is the This Planner Belongs To page. I have this flipped open because this has my last name on it. I just have a place card from my cousin's wedding that we went to in 2023. I thought that would be a fun way to show who this planner belongs to. And also it was the first year that I had my new name. So my hyphenated last name, so that was fun. This is an example of what I'm talking about. I wanted to fill out this page with photos from each month. Like this was January when we got married, this was February. I didn't take many photos in February because we didn't do a whole lot after our wedding and honeymoon, but it was my husband's birthday, so I took a picture of him with the beard that I bought him for his birthday. So I will eventually maybe either post these here or on the monthly dashboards. I don't know. I'll decide later, but that's what the plans are for that page. This page still looks the same. I meant to put photos here because it was our wedding and honeymoon, but it just did not happen. I think I'm going to focus on doing our actual wedding album and maybe a photo book for our Hawaiian honeymoon. Sorry if that was all out of focus, but there wasn't a whole lot to look at there anyway, I guess. If for some reason that last clip is out of focus, these are the photos from January and February. They didn't print that well on my printer for some reason, but moving on. So this is the first sticker spread of the year. This is my January monthly, and this kit was from Scribble Prints Co. The script is from Michaels, and all of these stickers that I stuck together are from Papershire to kind of sort of represent our wedding party, although there were 4 women on my side and 2 women and 2 men on my husband's side, so it's not very representative, but it's the best I could do with what I was given. So I like how this turned out a lot. Pretty simple with accents of gold because that's my favorite metal color, and it was fun to do a monthly wedding spread that matched the art for the weekly spread for our wedding. So yeah, we got married this weekend and then jetted off to Hawaii for a week. This is probably one of my favorite spreads of the year. I can't remember if it made it into my planner awards. I feel like it should have if it didn't. This was a kit from Cinderella Paper called Celestial, and I paired it with a gold prism foil bundle from Scribble Prints Co. And especially on this like black night sky washi at the bottom, I think it just looks incredible. I used this week. I've used wedding kits or wedding-ish kits leading up to the wedding week, and one of our colors was navy, but I didn't feel like this kit exactly matched our whole wedding, so that's why I used it kind of in the lead up. This was the week right after Christmas, so we were driving home. It took us 12 hours to drive home, which is like twice as long as it should because we were still living in Southern California at this point, and we had visited my family in Northern California for the holidays at the end of 2022. So yeah, then after Christmas, it was like wedding crunch time. So I was running errands for that. and like mocking up decorations in our house and researching things for our honeymoon. We were practicing our first dance. I miss doing that. That was fun, and I was like working on my vows. We started self-isolating because we were a winter wedding, and yeah, we wanted to make sure that we could go to our wedding and celebrating New Year's Eve together before we headed into the year we would get married. So yeah, I really love how this turned out. I love dark colors in kids, really, and then when you get to pair them with really fun foil, I think that's great. I hope this is picking up on oh yeah, it is. There you go. Also, for like all of January, I did like mini deco up along the top, whether it was foiled or otherwise, so that's pretty fun. Then the next week we have another wedding themed kit. I liked this one because this dress was the closest I could find to what sort of looked like my wedding dress, like an A-line with a lot of floral strap decoration and things like that. So this kit I think was called Marry Me, also from Cinderella Paper. This was way too neutral for our wedding, but we did have a lot of like botanical theme to our wedding and like greenery to it. It's just we had a lot of color as well. So this was the week before we got married, and I was super anxious because it was just so stormy, more stormy than it normally was in Southern California. Of course, the year that I plan a wedding, it just totally storms. So we were planning our honeymoon, like the last details of that. Let's see what else was going on here. Still practicing our dance. Like this day I was like not feeling good for some reason, but it was fine. We had our final venue meeting and I dropped off a very large check to them, ordered our seating chart, and sent out rehearsal dinner details. In hindsight, I could have communicated the rehearsal dinner a little bit earlier, but it was a casual thing, so not too big of a deal. But yeah, we were getting hit by what the meteorologists locally were calling a bomb cyclone storm, and so this was the day, 9 days before the wedding, where I got on Amazon and bought a bunch of umbrellas because I'm like, I think I just need to accept it's going to rain next weekend. The florist was pissing me off. If you want to know more details about that, you can go back and watch this plan with me. They were possibly my least favorite people to work with. Yeah. We had to take our cat to the vet to renew her prescription food at the last minute, and I was doing all of the printing and framing of things that we wanted to display at our wedding with my husband, so that was actually pretty fun. It took up a whole Friday night, though. It took way longer than I thought it would. And we were still practicing our first dance. We got through it all that day, and I was bummed out about the weather forecast, but what can you do? I cannot control the weather. If I didn't say, the foil bundle is, or not the foil bundle, but a lot of the foil is from Scribble Prints Co. in gold. Oh, I wrote in California Dreamin' on such a winter's day. Yeah, so the hearts and the quotes are all from Scribble Prints Co. I definitely did a lot more foil in January 2023 than I did in most other months or years because I wanted to really make it special for our wedding. Okay. So for this week, you would have seen this in my planner awards because this, absolutely made it into the planner awards. I'm just covering this up because it does have our last name, but that's the Mr. and Mrs. box from the Plan I Hannah custom wedding sheet. This kit is called I Do. This was from Cinderella Paper, and I picked this one for our wedding week because this full box looked the most like me and my husband. And also just like the woodsy vibes of this, like definitely matched the most with our wedding versus the other kits that were out there. If you want to see more details of this, of course, go back and watch the plan with me and watch the planner awards as well. I did like an extender over the dinners checklist that I normally do in order to include more wedding photos, which you can't see over here, but like I said, go to Instagram or go back to the plan with me for this to see all of the things I included. And I do think this is a little crazy how this all, there's a lot going on here. Like I included both silver and gold foil from Alicia Craft, Plan I Hannah, and who else? I think that's it. Oh, Scribble Prints Co. is too, because I had a mixed metal foil bundle from her. There's 2 extenders on Friday and Saturday. There's extenders on Wednesday and Thursday as well. I included wedding photos. This is when I was still using my HP Sprocket. So the photos are not great quality, but they do have overlays over them anyway, so I guess it's okay. But yeah, this was the week we got married. It was stormy. The venue changed the chandeliers at the very last second. I don't know why they did that and did not tell me, but oh well. and people were being rude to me. That's nice of them. Our Airbnb in Maui canceled on us at the very last minute. That was not fun. And then we got to the wedding, and then we're like, okay, we're just gonna chill and try to live in the moment and enjoy ourselves. And we did. We had a lot of fun at our wedding. It's just getting to that point was, it seemed like everything was going fine for a while with planning, and then we got to like the last 2 weeks and everything just like got really unnecessarily crazy. Like people were just asking the weirdest things of us and, you know, taking our money and then being rude, and it was a lot, but it's worth it because now we're married, and I think we put together a pretty okay wedding, a pretty good wedding. Then we came home, packed for the honeymoon, said hi to our cat, and then we were like, bye California, we're going to Hawaii where it was not raining. Because yeah, it was a very stormy day on our wedding. So this was our honeymoon. We went to Honolulu for these 2 days, and then we were on Maui on these few days, and this was obviously before the fires happened the summer after this. So yeah, this kit is also from Cinderella Paper. I think it's called Beach Babe, and then the foil, which is Heart Hollow, is from Planahana. Both her Honolulu sheet and then just some other holographic sparkly things that I had from her. So we flew into Honolulu this morning. It was pouring rain at LAX, which just makes LAX even worse than it already is. We got poke, we got coffee, of course. We got drinks at our hotel because they had a cute like bar that was surrounded by these wooden swings. It was really cute. We chilled by the pool. We got barbecue, which was actually very good. And more coffee the next day. We hiked Leahi or Diamond Head. More pool time. We did a sunset cruise, went to a really expensive but really worth it restaurant. Got like oysters and seafood and all that stuff. It was really nice. And then we flew to Maui this day, kind of just chilled on the beach, got spam musubi and Kahlua pork, and yeah, I ate my way through Hawaii and I regret nothing. Like Hawaiian food is so good. Like Hawaiian restaurants are great, even in the touristy areas. Which I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, they rip you off. I'm like, I don't know, maybe I just know how to pick good places to eat. My husband's very good at picking places to eat too, so that's nice. And then, so I feel like Diamond Head was a big highlight of the trip on Tuesday. The other big highlight of the trip was going to Haleakala National Park on Maui. That was amazing. Just, you know, volcanic activity and sandy Mars-like landscapes. It was amazing. I marked a lot of the different locations within the park that we visited with their Hawaiian names. Yeah, it was incredible. I definitely recommend it. I also want to go to the Hawaii Volcanoes National Park on the Big Island one day. I think that would be really cool too. So that was like the best part of the trip was hiking through there. Anytime I was hiking, I was like, this is what I was built to do. Not be a bride, not be fancy at a wedding, hike a mountain, like let's do it. My husband unfortunately got a really bad cold on this trip, but I remember this sushi dinner. It was so good. It was so good. That was in Kihei, which, yeah. Chilled on the beach. This beach was really great too. There were like these like big black boulders, and the waves were huge this day. This was in Paia, I think. Yeah, it was definitely in Paia, and the waves were just incredible that day. And then on Saturday, we got coffee, and then we had to kind of head to the airport. We did enjoy like our condo in Kihei, the porch, the lanai, and all of that. And then we flew home. Very quick honeymoon. We didn't have a lot of extra time to use after the wedding. I had to get back to work, but yeah, I'm really glad we took this trip just because it was like really our last vacation until now. Like all our other trips after this, between this trip and now, were either to go to somebody's wedding or graduation or something, or to take Clover to the vet. So this was like our last vacation in recent memory. So yeah, like to reminisce on that. And then this next week, was a kit from Scribble Prints Co. called Cat Cafe, and this was because it was our 2-year anniversary with our kitty cat. This was back to reality. It was the first week of the semester, so I went to teach my classes, and I was only teaching on Tuesday, Thursdays this spring semester. Actually, this whole calendar year. I remember announcing to my first class that I had gotten married, and I didn't even really intend to do that, but I was just explaining why my name was twice as long on my syllabus as it was on the class schedule, and they clapped for me, which was very sweet. That was a fun group, I remember them. And I was just really tired this week from my class schedule. And yeah, we celebrated 2 years with our cat. We got more wedding cards and things like that. And watched Persuasion on Netflix, and it was just bad. It was not good. That's like my favorite Jane Austen novel, and the adaptation was awful. Okay, so that's January. Quite a busy month. Lots of deco up at the top. That's not typical for me, but let's get into February. February felt busy, but was actually still pretty calm. So that's kind of funny. I didn't use a monthly kit this month. I didn't have any that really stood out to me, so I just filled in with icons and things that I already had. This first week of February is a kit from Cinderella Paper called Prosperity. This is Lunar New Year themed. Lunar New Year didn't start this week, but it is kind of like a season and not just one day. And I looked it up, and this was still part of the season. I really wanted to use this kit this year, so I did, and I paired it with a little bit of gold foil just as an accent. My car hit 200K mileage-wise. My husband's car got broken into because he was visiting a friend in LA, unfortunately. That was a really stressful, kind of scary situation. And then we did have to go to a funeral this day, unfortunately, for one of my husband's family members. So not the best week, but like I'm really glad I used this kit in my planner. Oh, this is when Nayeli from Two Cats and a Planner got married. I marked it with a Molly engagement ring sticker because that's how we know each other, is through Itty Bitty Sticker Co. Love for that. We had some friends over for dinner and a game night, and we dropped off tips and thank you cards at our venue for all of the staff there. Then the next week was my husband's birthday and my sister's birthday, so I used leftovers from this kit by Simply a Mess, who sadly is no longer open, but this was her Stranger Things Season 4 kit. So I paired it with Pixie Red and Silver Foil from Plannahannah. That was, of course, Stranger Things themed. This was a pretty quiet week. I was only marking like 4 or 5 things on a day just because my work schedule was so intense. I started having some new energy this day. I was doodling my new signature for my married name, and then this was my husband and my sister's birthday. I try to pick kits for them that like fit them, and they both love Stranger Things. This year I didn't come up with one for them. I just couldn't find anything that made sense, but most years I do it. We got all our wedding photos, and then this was kind of a crazy night. So one of our friends, a couple friends, were like, oh, our friend's making pizza as a pop-up at the coffee shop. Do you want to join us? And we did, and that pizza was so fantastic. And then there was an open mic for like poetry and musicians at that coffee shop while we were eating pizza, so we watched that. And then we ran over to Somi Somi, which is a soft serve ice cream place, and chatted with our friends there. And then at the end of it all, we went to, just my husband and I went to a bar so I could buy him a beer for his birthday. That's where this photo's from. So yeah, just kind of a whirlwind Friday night. And then the rest of the weekend, we went to our friends for a game night. And then at this point, I was so tired, but I'm like, okay, we got to go to brunch with my husband's family the next morning because they wanted to do something for his birthday as well. So this was a lot of socializing in 3 days. Like normally my weekends do not look this nuts. But yeah, that was my husband's birthday week. And then this is Valentine's week. So I think next year I'm gonna have to pick whether I'm doing Valentine's Day or a husband and sister birthday theme week, because I think all of those things fall in the same week next year, but we'll deal with that then. Maybe someone will come out with a kit that is perfectly combining all of those things. I don't know. So this was Pizza a Day by Cinderella Paper. I loved this as a Valentine's kit. I don't really love Valentine's art that much. This is like my type of Valentine's art. Heart-shaped pizza, yes please. And it was cute because Valentine's Day marked us being married for 1 month. So we were excited about that. So we exchanged gifts and things. My husband got me a cameo from a Great British Bake Off contestant. That was really funny. And I did call the county, because this was, of course, like a month after we got married, to make sure that our marriage license went through. And it turns out, in fact, yes, we were legally married. So then I could update my Facebook, because that's what's important. We had a spa day this day. I got my first massage ever, and I wish we could afford that more often because it was honestly amazing. And we watched Pride and Prejudice because my husband bought it for me as a Valentine's Day gift. I had a game night with my siblings virtually. And then this kit was from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. This is our Fairly Odd Parents themed kit. We were writing thank you notes for all of our wedding gifts. We were planning a trip to Disneyland because, fun fact, I used to live 20 minutes away from Disneyland. I don't anymore, but at this point I did. And it was really rainy this week. LA County got a blizzard warning, which was wild. This was a rough winter, y'all, for Southern California. I survived because I'm used to that. I'm from Northern California, but in Southern California, it was kind of weird. And then I think this is where, yeah, my husband bought Mario Party and I kept beating him at it, which is funny because I'm not normally good at video games. But yeah, I just kept winning, which was hilarious to me. And then we move into March. These are photos. This is the one photo page I did. These are photos from our makeup wedding photo shoot. So our photographer was super nice to us. And because we couldn't really go to the beach nearby on a stormy day in January, we met up a couple months later to do beach photos. It was still cloudy that day, as you can see, because as I've noted, it was a wet winter in Southern California. This was my March monthly spread. We got COVID for the first time and only time in March 2023. Knock on wood, I don't want it again. It was annoying. We were fine, but it was just, ugh, I did not feel good. So yeah, a lot, like half our month was taken up with that. At the beginning of the month, though, we did go to Disneyland. We got a 3-day SoCal resident ticket, which meant that we could go to one park a day across 3 different days, as long as it was not a blackout date. So that's where we started that this week. This is a kit from Cinderella Paper. I think it was called Bang or something for all the fireworks. I'm not crazy about the colors in this kit, but I love fireworks, and I love fireworks in planner art. I think they're beautiful. Still writing wedding thank you notes. More rain, late night rain, hail and snow. And then miraculously, it was not raining on this Friday when we went to Disneyland, but it was really freaking cold. We did get buttons to mark that we were married. We ate a ton in Disney this day, like more than we normally do because it was so cold. We were just trying to keep like our body temperature up. And so many rides were temporarily closed because I think it had something to do with the weather, like with all the storms and with it being too cold, it just wasn't, the rides weren't able to function properly. So they kept closing stuff. So like we went on Smuggler's Run and Star Tours multiple times because other rides were closed. I do really want to recommend this Tale of the Lion King show though. I don't know if they're still doing it, but it was incredible. That was the highlight of my day. Like the singers and dancers were great. It's basically like an abbreviated version of the Lion King, but live with singing and dancing. And like the costumes were great. The props were great. Like they had these like kites and everything. It was really good. So if you can go see the Tale of the Lion King at Disney, I would recommend it. Don't sleep on the live entertainment. I love that this Haunted Mansion sticker from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. like perfectly matches the colors of this kit. Got a Mickey pretzel because I was trying to carb up to stay warm. And we were waiting in line for Rise of the Resistance, which is like my favorite Disney ride. And it went down again. And we just got out of line instead of waiting for it because we're like, this is not clearly going to come up. We went on Astro Blasters, which was not great. And like I said, we went on Star Tours and Smuggler's Run again. So yeah, fun day, but it was really, really cold and people seemed really grouchy because of it. And by really cold, I mean it was like 50, which in SoCal is cold. Like that was the high temp for the day. And then the next day, both of us were feeling really tired and we just chalked it up to like, oh, we just went to Disneyland the day before, we're fine. Next day we woke up, my husband was testing positive for COVID. He took 2 tests and they were both very positive. I was testing negative for some reason. I tested negative for a long time before I tested positive, but I did have a slight sore throat and a runny nose, and that continued for several days. So that leads into this week, the COVID week. This is a mini kit from Scribble Prints Co. called Under the Weather. I didn't bother buying the ultimate kit version because I don't mark getting sick very often. I don't get sick very often, so this was kind of a bummer. So I stayed in bed a lot because my sore throat just would not go away, and I was just really tired. Like, I didn't get severely ill. It was just like, I can't do anything. I'm very, very lethargic. So that was my experience. My husband had it a little worse because he does have some underlying health conditions that affect his respiratory system, which is why we were really stringent about avoiding this for so many years, but it finally caught up with us. So yeah, I didn't work much this week, and neither did my husband. Just lied in bed and watched YouTube a lot. This is where I really got into John Oliver's show. And yeah, I felt like this most of the week. I was just like, bleh. And my voice was really hoarse, so I didn't feel like I could teach my classes even over Zoom. And then it took me like almost a whole week to finally test positive. So that was annoying because I was testing myself this day to see if I could end isolation, and then I tested positive instead. So I'm like, okay, guess I'm staying here. So yeah, kind of a meh week. We ate a lot of albondigas. I misspelled it here. There's supposed to be an L between the A and the B, but it's a Mexican meatball soup. So we ate a lot of that, which was very helpful. And then this is also from Scribble Prints Co. I think this is called Beach Bliss. And I used this because we finally got better and were able to go take our makeup wedding photos on the beach in San Clemente. So I posted a couple of those photos in the sidebar over here because nothing else really happened this week. We found out we really liked El Pollo Loco's chicken tortilla soup. And there's an extender here. So we're having internet issues. That sounds fun. And I was starting to feel better here, and then it was 10 days since my symptoms started, so I think I was good to go at that point. It's so funny because we were doing this makeup photo shoot because it had rained on our wedding day, and then like luckily we picked like the one day it didn't rain between this week and the next week, because like there's rain here and then there's rain the day after, so miraculously we timed it just right. So that was a lot of fun. People were really nice to us and like congratulating us, and you know, we've been married for 2 months already. But the foil, by the way, is a combo of Scribble Prints Co., a mixed metal foil bundle, and some Plannahannah as well. I don't think that she sells this foil bundle anymore, though. So yeah, we took photos on Calafia Beach in San Clemente. So that was fun. Those are some of my favorite photos, the portraits that we did on the beach. So I'm really grateful that our wedding photographer was willing to do that for us. So yeah. And then I think the last week I'm going to show you in this video is the last week of March. So this is a Parks and Recreation kit from Simply a Mess. Sad that I can't buy another one of this because I loved this so much. See, there's rain, like right after. It rained for 4 days in a row after we did this. That's why it's still cloudy in the photos. It just happened to not rain this particular day, which I know for a lot of places, like that's normal, but like in Southern California, it's just like, why did we actually get winter this year? I went back to work in person this week, thunderstorm, like, oh my goodness. Gosh, I really love this kit though, it's so funny. And then of course I had to start watching Parks and Recreation because I used this kit. And sadly, my husband's other cousin passed away really suddenly this week, so that was our lives. It's been a rough year. Like, stuff for us was going well the first half of the year, but like there was a lot of difficult stuff going on behind the scenes with people we cared about. We sent out our wedding thank you notes, which is important. And yeah, that's the last week that we're going to end on. So thank you so much for watching and waiting for these flip throughs. I will try to get one up a week so that we can just kind of put the 2023 book on the shelf and leave it behind. But yeah, thanks so much for hanging out, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.